The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. I come on each and every night right after the Quiet Storm with my man Lenny Green. He's supposed to be here later on in the show. We have a great show lined up for you this morning. And leading off the show will be Dr. Henny Bellet. And she's the chief hematologist at the Montefiore Medical Center. I'm going to leave it like that. And she is here to let us know how she's raising awareness for sickle cell anemia and how they are researching for new treatment options. I'll let you know more about that. Then Jamie Parker is going to be here, new founder of Mio Clock. You have to say it, Mio Clock. Stops by to inform us about his business and how he's working as a motivational speaker. Watch out. And after that, from the Quiet Storm with Lenny Green. It's going to be nice. None other than the man himself, Lenny Green. We call him Money Green sometimes because he's always in the money. And he's here to talk about how radio has changed over the years and what made him decide to pursue that particular career. Musical guest Harmonia Strings Quartet is going to be here. They have been warming up, and they're going to be a part of our Open Summer Music Series. So stay tuned, all this and more headed your way because we are now open for business. And good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. Today is Monday, June 10th, 2013. Can you believe it? 6 months in. We've got an amazing show lined up for you today. Lots of great guests. But before we get to that, let's have a look at our weekend wrap-up. Check it out. Puerto Rican Day Parade took place yesterday afternoon where participants celebrated. Puerto Rican Day Parade took place yesterday afternoon where participants of all ages, they celebrated their heritage, costumes, the food, the cheering, and the floats that went by. Fantastic. State Senator Gustavo Rivera hosted a session on Saturday where he answered questions from residents on the DREAM Act and what it would mean for illegal immigrants if the bill would be passed. In the world of sports, the New York Yankees took 3 out of 4 in Seattle, capping off with Mariano Rivera, my man, great person, earning the save in his last game at Safeco Field in the 2-1 Yankee victory. And the Miami Heat, they took Game 2 in a dazzling second-half run in last night's 103-85 thrashing or whipping or beating of the San Antonio Spurs. But we're going to see what happens after that. Miami went on to a 33-5 run in the second half to secure the victory. In national news, 29-year-old Edward Snowden has admitted to being the whistleblower of the National Security Agency. It was discovered that the NSA collected phone records from U.S. citizens in order to uncover potential terrorist plots. Former South African President Nelson Mandela, he went to the hospital this weekend with a lung infection, a reoccurring lung infection. He's responding to meds, and his family's at his side. Nelson Mandela is 94 years old. We wish him well. And there you have it. That's the weekend wrap-up. Our first guest is the chief of hematology at Montefiore Medical Center. And on June 19th, she's going to have something that's going to be spectacular. She's going to create the awareness. Her team is going to host the first annual Sickle Cell Awareness Day. Here to tell us more is Dr. Henny Bellet. We welcome you to the show.
Good morning.
We're sitting at your most favorite place. Well, tell us about the sickle cell disease, and how it affects the body.
Well, sickle cell disease is a miscoding of one of the genes that makes sickle cell. And because of that miscoating, it can't hold on to the oxygen as well. And when it doesn't hold on to the oxygen that well, it forms a rigid structure. And that rigid structure in the cell causes the cell to break up and to stuff itself into blood vessels. And when that happens, the oxygen doesn't get to the rest of the body, and the cells lyse and you get an anemia.
And what do you feel as a sickle cell patient?
So imagine an area of the body that doesn't get the oxygen it needs. It's not really a heart attack, but that area is waiting for the oxygen. It's not getting it. It feels pain.
Pain.
And then if there's really not oxygen, that area of the tissue can die.
Wow. And then what happens? That's really going off the deep end. Usually people get medical attention before that happens.
Oh, no, it's just that area of the tissue. That's
Yes.
I mean, although certainly death can occur in sickle, most patients do fairly well with their sickle cell disease, but they get these things called painful crisis, where when they're not getting the oxygen, they get these areas of really bad pain, and they have to be treated with analgesia and fluids until that passes and the
Yeah.
oxygen comes to where it needs to go.
And that's an episode that happens every so often. Is it chronic, or
It's
does it stay
really-
with you?
Yeah, it's very varied. There are some patients who very rarely get a crisis, and there are other patients who can get crises 10 to 20 times a year. The crisis can last from 2 to 7 days.
Who is most affected by sickle cell disease?
Well, the gene occurred because when it's there only in one copy, it's protective against malaria. So that whole malarial area, Africa, India, the Arab, Middle East, Greece, Italy, all that area can have sickle cell, but primarily it's the black Africa that gets sickle cell anemia.
Yeah. So you said something protective against
In
malaria?
one gene copy, it is
I
protective
didn't know.
against malaria, and that's why it flourished in Africa. But in 2 gene copies, not trait, but disease, then you have sickle cell disease, and then you have these areas of pain and ischemia.
Are you saying this has formed to protect the person or the body against malaria?
Yes, so again, in that one gene copy, the malaria parasite comes in, it says, I don't really like this cell. This
Let's
cell
get outta
is,
here.
yeah, and it doesn't flourish in the body.
What is its impact in the Bronx
Well, we have,
and
for
throughout the
example,
5 boroughs?
For example, at Montefiore, we have over 1,000 patients with sickle cell anemia. 1 out of every 12 people have the trait, but again, so it's there are about, as I said, 70 to 100,000
Yeah.
across the U.S. and about 1,000 in the Bronx alone.
What's the difference between having the trait and having the actual disease?
Oh, an enormous difference. The trait really functions very normally. But when you have 2 copies, when you get it from both your father and your mother, then you have sickle cell anemia. And that's when you have that rigid cell that we were talking about that can just bust up and what we call hemolyze, and therefore doesn't last as long and gives you that severe anemia as well as
So the mother and
pain.
father doesn't have to have, or necessarily have to have, a sickle cell disease, but they can both have the trait, and then you get it.
Right.
You
so
get the traits from both.
you get the
parents.
trait from both. You can also get different types of hemoglobin that can form to cause sickle cell disease.
And those are the only symptoms of sickle cell?
No, I mean, you can have this sickle cell occlusion of the blood vessels. This can occur in the brain and give you a stroke, and occur in the lung and give you acute chest syndrome. It can occur in the liver, it can occur in the kidneys and give you renal failure. It can occur in the bones.
Wow.
No, it can,
But people are living with it.
Yes,
People are
so-
living with it. There's a lot of study. There's a lot of things. Any new studies that we're working on right now?
So, again, one of the fascinating things about sickle is the variability. Some patients do really well and some patients don't. So one of the things that we look for is, how do we know who's going to do well and who's not going to? And the patients that don't, what can we do? So we're looking at factors, for example, can we do something about the blood vessel that it's getting stuck in?
Yes.
So there are studies looking at trying to get those cells not to stick to those blood vessels.
So it gets stuck in the same blood vessel all the time?
No, different blood vessels.
Okay.
But if we can have a medicine that will not allow the cells to get stuck in the blood vessels, if we can do something to the blood cell itself that will not cause it, not allow it to sickle.
So there's no real cure yet, right? Or is
No.
Are we working on one?
Well, bone marrow transplant is used in children in the quite severe. But because bone marrow transplant itself has significant morbidity,
Yeah.
it's really used for only a small subset. There is a drug called hydroxyurea, which we use for patients with sickle cell disease, which has been shown to significantly decrease mortality.
Yeah. Any side effects or anything from that?
None that are really not handleable. It does certain things that we want it to do.
It does
like
more good than
does
than
much
bad.
more good than
Yeah.
bad.
So we're doing some wonderful things at Montefiore.
So Montefiore is, and has always been, a leader in sickle cell disease. We've been doing sickle cell for 30 years.
Yeah.
We were the first hereditary clinic in the country. So we have sickle cell clinics. We have people who do lots of basic and clinical research on sickle.
So the program is extensive. You've been doing it for over 30 years.
Yes, we were one of the NIH-funded comprehensive sickle cell centers, and now we are really reaching out to try to recapture this population.
Yeah. And what kind of research is being done to find new treatments for sickle cell disease?
Well, so as I said, we're trying to look for drugs that will stop the sticking of the cells. We're trying to work on gene therapy itself. We're trying to make the blood that is often necessary to transfuse these patients who are anemic safer and more helpful for them. We're trying to stop the things that will precipitate these what's called painful episodes, painful crises, by using antioxidant therapy.
Is there something called gene splicing that they're working on to try to...
Well, gene therapy. So
Gene therapy.
We are working not directly, but in collaboration with some
Yeah.
people who are using gene therapy. Right now, it's still in the mouse
I'm
stage.
learning. That's why
Still
I'm
in the
just
mouse
asking
stage.
questions.
It's not yet in the people stage.
Okay, so we have the first of its kind there, the first annual Sickle Cell Awareness Day on June 19th at Montefiore. What's planned? How's that going to look, and what can we learn?
Well, what we're hoping to do is actually teach patients and everybody else about sickle cell disease. So we'll have patients there who tell people what it's like to live with sickle cell disease. You'll have physicians like me, I'll be there, but there'll be others as well, who will try to explain to people what sickle cell disease is, what you can do for it. We're going to have Eddie Gomez, a boxer who has a friend with sickle cell disease and is quite involved. He's going to be there in an effort to spur interest in sickle cell
He's going to
disease.
spar interest.
Spur and spar, yes.
Okay, so how's it going to look? Is it going to be the outside area? Like
Yeah, it's going to be in the East Garden, so we're going to hope it doesn't rain. It's going to be in the East Garden. We're going to have leaflets and flyers and some giveaways and
some food
pulse,
and
some food.
drink.
There'll be nurses doing pulse oximetry so you can see how well you're oxygenating
good.
yourself.
Yeah. I mean, does that have a lot to do with sickle cell?
Well, so as we said, one
If
of
it closes out if it affects the lung area.
the lung and just the little blood vessels. If you can't get the oxygen through because those cells are sickling and stopping the oxygen from getting
Yeah.
through, it's a
And
problem.
that monitor can tell if there's a blockage somewhere in the body.
Yes, we monitor. So it'll tell you what the whole body status is doing rather than just a particular area. Right.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Yeah, I'm asking the questions. Anything we missed? We have this wonderful Awareness Day coming up. Did we cover everything?
Well, I'm hoping that people will come to Montefiore and learn about sickle cell disease and talk to the patients and talk to
Okay.
us.
All right, the first annual Sickle Cell Awareness Day, June 19th, Montefiore. And what's the address there again?
East 210th, 111 East 210th Street.
And do you have a website where we can find out more?
There is a website for hematology that has the sickle cell program in it, yes.
And, of course, hematologists, they deal with a lot of blood, so don't faint. but we won't be dealing with that day. We'll be checking. Right? Thank you so much,
Oh,
Doctor.
you're very welcome.
All right. We got the doctor here, Dr. Henny Billett, Chief Hematology, Montefiore Medical Center. We thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.
Wait a minute, Doctor.
Oh.
Doctor, wait a minute, Doctor. We're going to hang out. We have a cup of coffee and everything for you.
Okay.
We'll be right back with more. When we return, Jamie Parker is going to join us. Stay right there.
Come on, Theo. Hi, I'm Ruben Diaz Jr. I'm not just the Bronx Borough President, but I'm a father and an uncle. I can't emphasize enough how important it is for men and fathers to be a part of their children's lives. Let me talk to you about a program that's come out of my office, the Bronx Fathers Taking Action Committee, which is a committee of Bronx fathers and men formed to help uplift the institution of fatherhood while responsibly respecting the privilege of being a dad. Our mission statement is to engage, empower, educate, and encourage fathers, grandfathers, and uncles of all ages by providing them with the resources and help that they need in order to build new relationships with the leaders in our community. Ultimately, this initiative will help reinforce Bronx men as positive role models. So, I just want to take the time out to encourage fathers, grandfathers, uncles, men of all corners of the Bronx to take an important role in the lives of the children in your family and in our community, and also to get involved in this uplifting committee.
Good job, Theo.
Thank you.
Let's start it again, Theo.
All right.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Our next guest is the founder of Mio Clock. That's right, UO Clock. Mio Clock is currently he's currently a motivational speaker who encourages the youth. And here to tell us more is Jamie Parker. We welcome you to the show.
Hey, nice to see you
So
again.
one of your colleagues out there at one of the affairs that we were doing, and they said, can we come back up and talk about our product? Man, we are flourishing. Tell us about some of the things you're doing.
Yeah, still highly involved in the community, reaching out to different events, different organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday we were over at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. It's just been real positive. People have been really open to the product and looking forward to new
How'd
things.
you like that parade?
It was very nice,
Yeah.
very interesting. Even the festival on Saturday was just amazing. The turnout is just, you could feel the love, you could feel the energy.
You grew up in the area, in the neighborhood?
Yes, actually, in this area, Gun Hill Road.
Tell us about what some of the things you were going through while growing up.
Nothing in life is easy. Even if you have 5 parents, it's not easy growing up. But coming from a single parent home, it's not always the best situation. But you have to do the best with what you have.
Yeah. And what made you want to get involved in motivational speaking?
Sometimes it's not something you want to do, but something that needs to be done. Sometimes you look for inspiration. I was looking for inspiration growing up, and I couldn't find it. No one was there for me. Nobody reached out. So I vowed when I got older, and if I was in a position to give back or look out for others, that I would do it.
When did you first do it?
It had to be about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I just started giving talks.
You at one of the schools, and they said, "Hey, let me give you some inspiration, some motivation."
Yeah, because I could just see,
Motivation.
how many individuals just reached out to me and just needed guidance. And once I could see, like, wow, if I could do this for friends, imagine what I could do for people, I don't know, and how I can encourage them.
You get any feedback from your speaking, your motivational speaking? People come up to you later on and say, "Hey, man, I remember what you told me 500 years ago, and I stuck with it, and look at me."
Yeah, definitely. People always, send me an email or reach out to me and say, "Hey, remember that talk we had, 2 years ago or last year? I always remember how you believed in me, how you encouraged me." And it's always beneficial to hear positive feedback like that. Or people will, I give people my cell phone number so they can, shoot me a text or shoot me an email So I get texts, people ask me, oh, can I use you as a reference? Or can you tell me where there's a positive talk going on? Because unfortunately, we don't get to hear about when something positive is going on. I'm proud of this organization for, shedding light on some of the positive things that are going on in the community, but we need more of it.
Well, can you be my mentor?
Yeah, you're definitely a lot of.
Right. So you started this business. I remember you were up here last time. You had I don't know if you had a watch.
I just had pictures.
You had pictures of the watch. You didn't have the watches
They
yet.
didn't even have the watches.
It was that new, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you finally got them off the line there.
Right. Absolutely.
And,
yeah, they're different. I mean, I could show you them.
I can see a lot of people wearing these.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lenny Green, Bob Lee.
Yeah.
Look, he has a nice suit on. Look.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah.
So how did you get started doing this?
It's just kept going, just an idea, and I just wanted to continue to move forward with it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was needed. I felt like sometimes, like we said, we don't get the inspiration that we need from other individuals, so I figured we have to be there for ourselves. We can't wait for somebody to hook us up. We have to hook ourselves up sometimes and go out and get it. So that's really why I started the company.
And Meal Clock?
Yes.
Where were you when you came up with that name?
I was on the train. And, I just started writing it down and just started building from it. And just,
so you had a list of things that you wanted to call it. You said Meal Clock would be great. And why'd you pick Meal Clock?
I just felt like the name says a lot. Sometimes we don't get to really say something that really means it's my time. And so I just needed a different way to say it, as opposed to just the mundane.
All right, it's my time to...
Yeah. So whether the individual has accomplished something or in the process of getting there, I just want them to know that, never stop striving for more. If you don't have those connections, definitely try to make them. Definitely try to reach out to people who can be there for you or who want to be there for you. Sometimes I feel like we focus on what we like rather than what would be, beneficial to us in the future. We're focused on today as opposed to thinking about where we could be at next year.
All right. So Meal Clock, the time is now.
Yeah. It's your time. Exactly.
What are some of the things you tell some of your clients when you're doing your motivational speaking?
Well, what I really try to get
include
across,
this? You say, hey man, I got this line for...
I share it maybe at the end, but, the goal really, isn't to share the product with them when I do the talks. It's really to just encourage them that there is, their time is now, and, let them know that I'm there for them. Like, that's what people want. That's what people want to see. Like, are you going to be there for me? Don't tell me I can do it, and then I ask you for help and you're not there. So I feel like that's the main point I try to get across, is that I'll be here for you and try to be here to guide you and show you, what to do and what I did wrong and how you can blossom and benefit from it.
All right. So where do you want to take it?
I'd like people to recognize, the brand and recognize the speaking as, as something that is positive and is beneficial. And I hope more people get involved and recognize that, people aren't going to just magically believe in themselves. They need support, and we just have to encourage them that they can do it.
All right. Can we try one of these on?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how did you get these things made? You have your own manual, have you sent away to?
Yeah. So I actually went to France and got it made. Spoke to some people out there. Spoke to Switzerland. Spoke to France, and I like the way the guy in France, portrayed, what he'd like to do, and he really took to the idea, and so that's why I worked with him. Oh, we'll try to put it this way, right?
Look at that.
Yeah.
This is like a clock.
Yeah. Sure.
I can look at this and say, yo, I'm clocking you.
Yeah.
This is nice. Look at that.
Yeah, it's different. And then, what I've used the proceeds for is toward a scholarship. So I gave away one scholarship last year, and then I gave away another scholarship this year. And, Lehman has recognized the work so much that they actually featured me in the Lehman Today magazine, where actually, gets shown only twice a year. Yeah, this is one of them here where I was featured, which was, I was really honored and grateful. And then even locally, my good friend Laura decided to write an article about me in Gossip magazine.
Oh, look at you getting written up all over the place. Look at that.
In other different areas. And so just trying.
That's positive. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And so, just briefly, just with the other watches, This one is different because it actually forms a heart once an hour.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can't find that anywhere.
No. Look at that.
I guarantee you, Google it, watch that forms a heart once an hour. You can't find it. Have a watch that goes counterclockwise.
So you can take that a couple of ways. When that heart forms, say, hey, it's time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Even got a Spanish line.
Crazy, but I just look, there it is right there. It's time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You said you have a Spanish one?
Yeah. I put the word "am I" inside, so you know, like me in Spanish,
me.
And then also right here it says "El tiempo es mío."
Ah.
You know, which means the time is mine in Spanish.
There
And
you
just
go.
Different, and just something just to remind you that you're capable of more.
Yeah, and it says me all across. Look.
Yeah.
12 o'clock hour, 10 after, quarter after, 20 after. These are very, very, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have them out on in the market right now?
Yes.
Or you
yes.
just have
Absolutely.
them privately?
Yeah. No, I have it in
So-
stores in the Bronx and in Manhattan. Looking to get into Brooklyn, probably by next week. We have a store that's interested.
All right. And now
Yeah.
BronxNet has them.
Yeah.
So make sure you check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. There it is right there. All right. All right. Where can we reach you? How can we find out more information on what you're doing? With the motivational speaking and your business.
So yeah, I mean, you call my cell phone directly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hey,
You
know,
sure you want
I'm,
to give out that cell phone number?
I'm ready to work. You
All
know, nothing in life is easy. So 718-781-9249.
Say it slow.
718-781-9249. And then also, you know, I can be reached via email. You can just go to the website at meoclock.com. Yeah.
There you go, Jamie Parker. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Founder of Mio Clock and a fantastic motivational speaker. We got to take a quick break, Jamie. But when we come back, Lenny Green, or Money Green, and sometimes we call him at BLS. It's going to be right here on Open's BronxNet Television. Don't miss it. You don't want to. Be right back after this.
I like how you did that. Yeah.
Welcome home, man.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS. And when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee and Cool Clyde. It's open on BronxNet. I never miss it.
I mean, you have some fun. Yes, indeed. Our next guest is my lead-in at WBLS. I come on each and every night right after this young man here. And like I said, we call him Money Green. Lenny Green, which airs from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. And then, you know, the rest is smooth sailing after that, all right? My man Lenny Green, give him a big round of applause, everybody, from the Quiet Storm, 107.5 WBLS.
I'm your opening act. Every night I'm your opening act.
You are the act.
Thank you for inviting me today, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
that.
You've been in this business for a while, so you know
Yes.
what it's been like, and you know what it is now. There's been lots of changes in the record industry, lots of changes in our business, radio and TV. How was it back then compared to now?
Well, you know, I don't go back as far as you, Bob. I remember listening to you as I was growing up. But one thing I applaud your last guest that he had, you know, about reaching for the next level.
Yeah.
It's so important, even at our level, that we still strive to get to the next level.
Yeah.
I think it has made a tremendous.
Yeah.
And there was a time you went to college, and you found a job. The brother who was on before me had the right ingredient. You go to college, and you create your job.
You create your job.
Or you have a job, and you learn how to strive for the next level.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, thus, all of us in the business right now, we're all blessed and fortunate to be working. But there are so many others, like college students, that are striving to get into our seats. And I know it's going to be very, very difficult for them, as opposed to when we were coming in the game.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people worry about getting jobs in radio with the syndication and automation and all that stuff taking place in our business.
Well, you know, syndication was taking place when I was trying to get in. And I was wondering, well, how I'm going to get into the business.
Yeah.
Now I have a syndicated show. And I'm sure the next generation is saying the same thing about me. And the only thing I could say to them is that, you know, it still takes a great deal of perseverance.
Yeah.
It takes a great deal of drive. And it takes a great deal of commitment.
Yeah.
And if you have those three elements, then, and a lot of prayer, because you have to have a lot of faith.
And it doesn't have to be the guy on the mic. The guy behind the mic is one person, but there's a whole lot that makes that happen up there.
And you know what? And I can't thank my producer, Global Vito, enough. You know, I have a great team that works with me every night, just as you do here, because they put in all the little extra stuff that really turns the wheel and make it happen. I might be the voice, I might be the creative force, but there's a lot of people that help propel and bring ideas to the table that really enhances the show, and that's why The Quiet Storm right now is the #1 show.
And before that, you doing Kissing After Dark, 98.7 Kiss FM.
16 years.
Yeah, 16 years.
Yeah.
And now The Quiet Storm.
The Quiet Storm, man. You know, look,
You are in line with a lot of wonderful people who have come through that Quiet Storm.
You know, I am very fortunate.
Vaughn Harper.
I'm very. Vaughn Harper is my mentor. Now, a lot of people don't know that. You know, I've listened to Vaughn Harper, and it's no joke. But when I was growing up, I was really listening to Vaughn Harper.
Yeah.
At that time, I wasn't interested in radio. I was interested in singing. But it wasn't until I got to college, a community college.
Yeah.
That
Hey, you
turned
did
me
the
on.
world famous Apollo Theater and all of that. Tell us about that.
I did
With that
sing.
tough crowd,
I
the
did
toughest
sing.
crowd in the world.
I came in second place. Well, my group and I, we came in second place.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a exhilarating and frightful experience.
It was very frightening because you know about the crowd before you even get out there.
God, man.
You're waiting in the basement down there. You say, "Oh man, this is a tough
with
crowd."
tomatoes and everything else. So it was really rough. But you know, it's something I really love.
Yeah.
Ever since I was like 9 years old. So I didn't think about radio. Radio, what was radio? Radio was something I listened to listen to music. I didn't think I would actually be doing it and fall in love with it.
So you got both ends of it. You got the people who make the music.
Yeah.
You're part of the vocal singing group, and the people who play the music.
Yeah.
So you're like Jeff Fox. You see both sides of it.
Well, I'm not as talented as Jeff, but I become, in the radio game, I've become an entrepreneur. And that's why, you know, and again, piggybacking off of your previous guest, you know, we just can't sit idle in any industry anymore. I'm a beaver.
Yeah.
And what I mean is that I work a lot. You know, I try to come up with events. We got the Quiet Storm Midnight Cruise coming up on Friday, June 28th. And I got the Family Day thing coming up in August, and on August 18th in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just learn how to create more when you have the opportunity to do more.
Yeah, and you just can't just do one thing. Like you said,
You better not. You better not do one thing. You got to learn how to do multiple things. I mean, as you are. I mean, you know, you're a great role model for so many students that look to the next level.
Mm. A lot of people, their eyes are red because they stayed up with you all night.
But I wasn't on last night, so you were on last night. But yeah, I appreciate, because our audience, as you know, at WBLS ranges from literally 21 to 90. And I know that's, people might be looking at me and saying, you're crazy, or that's not true. It really is. You know, just last week I spoke to a young lady who was 90 years old, and just as much as I speak to someone who's 21, so everyone filters into what we do.
Yeah, and you have a lot going on within your show.
Well, we bring different content to the station. One of the content is celebrity guests. Like, for instance, tonight we have Robin Thicke. So it's always guests coming by just to kind of share different things with us and let us know what they're doing. Then we have different segments. We turn the segment over to the listeners where they get a chance to actually tell me what they want to hear. And we actually play what they want to hear.
Right.
And then we have a relationship segment called Confessions of Love.
Relationship segment.
Confessions of Love is pretty interesting. We cover all spectrums of relationship questions, problems, and suggestions. So we
True
have guests.
confession sessions.
Matter of fact, we're going to get Robin Thicke on this session. He doesn't even know this yet.
Yeah.
So we talk about things that, unfortunately is not discussed in relationships. We kind of address the topics that couples should be talking about, thinking about, and actually doing whatever they can to enhance their relationships.
Yeah. But when did you know that you wanted to do this type of work, coming out of singing and everything?
I didn't know. People were telling me when I went to college, you should go to the radio station. I was like, what for?
Yeah.
What for? And when I went to the radio station, I was so fascinated by what was going on. I was like blown away. And it was Kingsborough Community College. And I just went back there.
Water there.
Oh, the water's great. It's right there on the beach.
Yeah.
I just went back there around 3 months ago. They have renovated the entire radio station. It's a it's like our station.
Yeah.
It's state of the art. So any student that is really interested in pursuing radio, and whether you live in Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, Jersey, Connecticut, I'm going to say strongly consider my alma mater. That's Kingsborough Community College. Beautiful facility for radio.
Now, you met tons of people, You met a lot of the stars that we see on TV, people that we hear on the radio, and that other people say, wow, I wish I could meet them, or wow, he's right there close and personal with them. Who was a person that you met that you can, say, you can laugh about it and stuff like that? What stands out?
The Jacksons.
The Jacksons.
And I'm so sorry that Michael...
Recently?
Recently.
When they just came up?
When they came, and they're coming back to town. When they came, these were my idols, who I was trying to mimic, especially Michael.
Yeah.
So when I had all the brothers right here, it's like, I was like a kid in the canvas. I was like, these are the Jacksons.
You're trying to keep your
It's
composure?
crazy. Composure. So you know what, I've met just about every Jackson, with the exception of Reby and Michael.
Yeah.
So it's that, I would say that has the most impact out of a lot of guests. And like you said, I've been fortunate to talk to everyone from Jay-Z to Luther to Freddie, Jackson, and the list just goes on. John Legend, it just goes on and on and on.
And these are people who are just like us, the regular people. They just had a burning desire to become who they are today.
Well, you know what? Ian Van Zant just told me recently, we as people, we kind of put people up on certain pedestals. But you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, they do the same things as you and I do. They might have more disposable income than we do, but they do the same things, and they're human beings, So they're just much more popular, or much more, known around the world. But they really are just regular people.
Anything special we should tune in for tonight?
Yes, you should tune in for our special guest, Robin Thicke, is joining us tonight. We'll throw him in the relationship category tonight. I mean, he's married. He's been married to Paula Patton, and he's a dad now. So we're going to talk about that, and I want to talk about why he left the Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
The fake reality show that Kevin Hart started up, because he just ousted himself out of the
isn't that something?
Out of the cast. So I want to get behind that dirt.
Yeah.
So
that's
what we're going to do.
We're all going to tune in and check that out.
I appreciate that, Bob.
Well,
and thank you, man. Much continued success.
Oh,
to you.
and well, tell us one more thing. You have your event coming up, the boat ride. What's the date on it again?
It's Friday, June 28th. It's going to be co-hosted by the R&B crooner Joe. If they'd like to get tickets and information, they can log on to the spiritofnewyork.com/quietstorm. Spiritofnewyork.com/quietstorm and get your tickets. There's a limited amount of tickets, but it's going to be real sexy.
And then you have the block party that you do every year.
Yep, the Family Day. My 9th annual Family Day will be in Von King Park in Brooklyn on Sunday, August 18th. Absolutely free.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have the good doctor come by.
I will be there. They just, things just pop up on my
I know
calendar.
you're a popular man. You and the president are the two most popular guys I know.
Where's that boxing glove?
I applaud you, Dr. Bob Lee.
I applaud you, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
We applaud you each and every night. Lenny Green, give him a big round of applause, everybody.
Dr. Bob Lee.
Check him out tonight. He has Robin Thicke on. What time is he coming on?
9 o'clock.
Well, make sure you tune in at 7 o'clock. Get the whole
get the
thing,
essence.
all right?
Get the essence. And bring the candles.
Lenny with the quiet. He has candles and everything up there. And he has a Lenny Green, Money Green bar. Thank you, my radio brother right here. We'll be right back with a performance from Harmonia, the string quartet. Don't go away. They're from the Celia Cruz School. Next.
Through my life, quiet storm, blow wind. Through my life, blow baby.
My head down to the feet, clothes I wear and the way I speak. Down my swag, you can tell when you look at me. I'm a Brooklyn girl. This I do.
I love being in classrooms like this one and learning new things. But I'm a Brooklyn girl, and I know school can be hard. It's demanding, and we kids have many distractions, lots of other things we could be doing. Sometimes even your friends may tell you that school isn't cool, that it isn't the place to be. Don't listen to them. There's nothing more important than education. It's the key to everything else. It helps us understand our world and be better people, better friends, and better citizens. So stay in school, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough or smart enough. Be a star, shine brighter than anyone else, and you'll make the grade.
This has been a public service announcement of the Make the Grade Foundation. Go to makethegrade.org to learn more.
Hey, I'm Larry Dunn, original keyboardist and musical director for Earth, Wind and Fire, and you're watching Open with Dr. Bob Lee and DJ Cool Clyde.
If you want hot topics, current news, fashion advice, and humor included, then Open 2.0 is a show for you. We've got it all. So tune in every Friday at 4:30 p.m.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hi. Have a nice day.
You too.
Thanks.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
Hello, I'm Donja Lemon from Open 2.0 on BronxNet, the show by teens, for teens, and about teens. Catch us every Friday at 4:30 and anytime on the web by going to www.bronxnet.org.
And welcome back, everybody. The beat goes on and on and on until the break of dawn. We begin our open summer music series right about now. Check it out. Our next guest is an orchestral group formed at the Celia Cruz High School of Music right here in the Bronx. Please welcome to the open stage, Harmonia Orchestral Group. Give them a big hand, everybody. Yes, indeed. Yes, yes. Hey, keep it going. Give them a big hand. The Armenia String Quartet. Armenia String Quartet from the Celia Cruz School. Yes, indeed. Your name is?
Raymond Martino.
And your name is?
Bremen Burgos.
And they don't have a mic, so who?
Jocelyn Rosado.
And?
Jorelis Jimenez.
Oh, you do have a mic?
Yeah, she
okay. Do you guys come with the more, or it's just the four of you guys?
It's just the four of us.
Okay. How did you guys get started?
Well, we got started our freshman year. We've grown musically throughout the years with various instrumentalists. Now we are who we are now. Yeah, basically.
But wait a minute. You said in your freshman year. What year are you in now?
I'm a senior now.
Oh, okay. So you guys have been
We're
playing
all
together for a
seniors.
few years now.
Yes.
Great, great. Do you want to take it further than this? You going to go to college, the same school together?
No. Actually, after this, sadly, the quartet will actually split up due to the different places that in the different careers we are going to pursue, because a lot of us love music, but we don't see ourselves. Some of us don't see ourselves doing that as a career.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys do very well. Yeah, I mean, you can take it there. It can be a career, right? But if you go to school in California, and she goes to school in Hawaii, and you're here in the Bronx, and you're somewhere else, it'd be hard for you guys to get together and do your gigs.
Yeah.
So you perform for a lot of people. You school's chancellor.
Yes.
The Department of Education, and who else?
President Ruben Diaz.
President Ruben, Bronxborough President Ruben
Yes.
Diaz. And shout it out. Who else?
St. Barnabas Hospital.
St. Barnabas Hospital.
Yeah, we actually received a plaque from the St. Barnabas Hospital for playing for them, which was really nice.
All right, there you go. You guys have been around. Look at that. Okay. All right, give them another big round of applause, everybody. The Armenia String Quartet. Are you rapping us? They're going to take us home. You're going to play something on the way out?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody, to all of our guests. They're at the Celia Cruz School. If you want to book them, where do we go? We go where? We go. You call Celia Cruz School? Say it again loud.
ccbxhsm.org.
Now you repeat that.
ccbxhsm.org.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to all of our guests, and thank you, our viewers, for tuning in, checking it all out. Don't forget to tune in to an all-new Open this Wednesday with host Darren Heinley. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll catch you right after Lenny Green. You saw him earlier. The Quiet Storm tonight on 107.5 WBLS. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. I'll catch you another day, another way. I love you all. Peace. Take us home. The Armenia String Quartet. Here we go.